Hi, everyone. Welcome to a first of its kind session for RQM Plus, where we will be featuring a short Q&A with a team, in this case, a CAPA-focused team. My name is Scott Edwards, and I'm going to introduce the team members. First off is Elaine Ruminski. She is a senior consultant at RQM Plus, specializing in RQA consulting with 6 years of industry experience. As a project lead, Elaine has significantly improved quality systems, reducing corrective actions by 30%, and preventing non-compliance of ISO 10993-1 through meticulous biocompatibility and design traceability assessments. Next, we have Craig McIntire. He is a senior consultant at RQM Plus, specializing in RAQA consulting with 8 years of industry experience. Craig excels in providing top-tier quality consulting, recently leading a team that successfully remediated a multitude of CAPAs in response to regulatory findings and significantly reducing the client's CAPA backlog and exposure. Next, we have Joe Commane. He is a consultant at RQM Plus with 8 years of industry experience in RAQA consulting. Joe has successfully assisted clients in remediating technical documents in a time-sensitive manner, demonstrating his expertise in advising on QA/RA activities and strategies. And finally, we have Makenzie Dorring. She is a consultant at RQM Plus with 5 years of industry experience and a certification from the American Society of Quality as a certified medical device auditor. Makenzie excels in regulatory and quality consulting services, having significantly contributed to regulatory action remediation support and QMS process improvements for several major medical device manufacturers. I am Scott Edwards, Director at RQM Plus. I'm a strategic business leader with over 35 years of experience in the medical device industry. I'm here today to have a roundtable discussion with this amazing team of people who I've worked closely with over the last year and a half. Let's get into the questions and learn more about each of our team members. So the first question, what do you feel is the biggest difference between a contractor and a consultant? Joe, would you like to help us out with this one?
Sure. Thanks for the question, Scott. I think with contractors, they specialize in specific skills and abilities within a particular area of expertise. But at the same time, I sort of think that the scope of their work is limited to those particular skills or expertise. Whereas with consultants, they're not necessarily more knowledgeable, but I believe that they contain a wider scope of skills and abilities that allow them to provide valuable insights, strategic guidance, and even holistic solutions that sort of address a larger or more broad business challenges.
That's great. I like that, Joe. Yeah. It's not just a doer, but somebody who's there to contribute and provide some guidance and strategic direction.
That's kind of how I think of it too. I thought the same thing, is the consultant is more strategy plus execution.
Yeah, I had one thing to add to that too. I think as a consultant, we can form a longer lasting relationship with the client because we can work in so many different areas. And if we can't do it, we can pull in someone else from our team. And that just keeps the relationship going, sometimes for years and years.
Yeah, that's a good point, Makenzie. I think consultants are really kind of the Swiss Army knife, if you will, versus a contractor, because a contractor can focus usually on one thing, and consultants usually have breadth and depth of experience and can be utilized in many different ways. And like you said, across, many different areas within a client base. Great. Okay, next question. In your opinion, how can clients better leverage the collective knowledge of consultants, just like we were talking, and what potential benefits do you see from utilizing this collective knowledge from the start? Elaine, would you like to take this one?
Yes, thank you, Scott. I think it very well ties to question number one, and it has to do with strategy. If you have the chance to help scope and develop a strategy, for your upcoming work, what you can do is develop that with the benefit of the collective knowledge. You can have that planning, draw in people maybe from the organization who aren't going to be specifically part of that project execution, but you can benefit from their knowledge, their experience, bring that into a developed plan that can better help you to succeed. And I think what's also great there is then those resources are like pre-identified. So if you run into a problem, if you run into something that wasn't planned or anticipated, maybe scope will increase a little bit, you already have that expertise that helps you, with the initial plan that you can go back and draw upon. So I think planning is really key to that, and from my perspective.
Yeah, that's a very good insight, Elaine. I know a lot of clients over the years, a lot of times they're either in regulatory trouble or just internal audit trouble, trying to solve problems, and being able to bring in an outside perspective really provides a nice strategic what's the word I'm looking for? Nice strategic guideline to follow versus trying to reinvent something that you've already been working on and making it look different. You can bring in a different perspective, and I think it's really important for clients to do that. And I've certainly seen that over the years, both sitting in industry, bringing in consultants, and also being a consultant helping in industry. So that's a great point.
Thanks, Scott.
Other thoughts?
Yeah, I sort of think it starts at the very beginning by engaging the consultants early on in either the project or the onboarding process, and sort of creating and enabling certain channels for communication, collaboration, and just general conversation that sort of, prioritizes information and knowledge sharing.
Good insight, Joe. Any other thoughts on that question? No? Okay, we'll move on. So if you would, and this will be a question really for each of you, so we'll kind of go around the room here. Tell me about your top 2 or 3 skill sets and how you've applied them to bring about dramatic results for clients. Craig, would you like to start us off?
Absolutely. Communication skills are required in any business, but as consultants, I feel we require the ability to communicate across organizations, whether it be departmentally as well as hierarchical. Communicating clearly and effectively is like the key element to driving our clients to the growth that they are entrusting us to implement. Another skill that we really do require is adaptability. It's key in a changing environment and in an environment where most folks are calling us in to consult. We need to be able to kind of switch on a button at any time. Possessing the skill, it's really going to be able to put a client at ease while supplying them with the confidence that they're entrusting in us when they kind of hire us on.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point, Craig. Because you get into, if a client's doing a remediation, a lot of times they don't know what they don't know. And when you start getting in, peeling that onion back, and you're finding, things that you didn't realize were there, being able to be flexible and adaptive can be a huge benefit for the client.
Exactly, and that's what pulls you into the main focus for all of us is the problem-solving skills. It's really having the technical and regulatory knowledge provides a background required for the clients, but an interpersonal skill set influences problem-solving by providing an expertise, whether it be in teamwork, in the communication and adaptability, emotional intelligence, empathy. It's really it's a whole kind of bundle that the problem-solving skill set brings into the equation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I sort of like what Craig just said there. Is not only do you need the technical skills, but you also need to be well-rounded with those soft skills, the interpersonal communication, those sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, perfect.
One of the things I've found too that working is sometimes there's inertia. Someone wants to continue as they've always done. And by bringing us in, they've sort of already acknowledged, hey, something has to change. Something is different. And change is hard. It's hard for people who've done things for years and they're trying to get out of a pattern. So that empathy and trying to, bring about that change in a way that's considerate of why are they hanging on to this, and trying to show them maybe there's a different solution. It's very key to our role.
Yeah, that's a good point, Elaine. Very good point. So let's continue on this question and again just kind of highlight a couple of your skill sets that you really bring. So you say, Elaine, you talked about empathy. What's another key skill set that you can bring to clients?
Well, I would say on the opposite side of empathy is sort of organization and technical rigor. I want to be considerate of why you're hanging on to what you're hanging on to, but at the same time, I'll be firm and I'll say these are the requirements. These are the deadlines. This is what we need to try and hit. These are our targets. So I would say what I bring is I really do like to organize, and I think I try to find the way that's going to work best for the particular set of individuals I'm working with. So organization is key. And also, again, the technical rigor is when you see requirements, knowing why they are requirements, maybe explaining that to someone who is a little reluctant to say that I'm going to commit to that, I'm going to meet that, to say, okay, this is why, this is the importance, this is why you need to meet this. So I want to say those two factors are things I try to bring to all my projects, and I do have as a skill set.
Okay, great. Thank you, Elaine. All right, Makenzie.
Yeah, I would piggyback off of what Craig was talking about. For me, I feel like my biggest strength in skill set is flexibility. I have a variety of knowledge in different quality management system aspects, whether it's SOP authoring or working on CAPAs, working on risk analysis. I have strong background in engineering. But with that, I'm always willing to jump in anywhere. So I think another thing that comes along with flexibility is courage. So being able to try something that you've never tried before, and figuring it out so that you can deliver high quality deliverables to clients, and just be willing to learn something new, and don't be scared to try, because you can succeed.
Very good. Very good. Joe, anything else? Any other thoughts that you wanted to add to the group here?
Yeah, actually, I was just gonna piggyback off what Craig was saying with effective communication and how important I think it is to be able to do that, especially, referring to what Makenzie was saying, if you're on a project where you may be unfamiliar or, the deliverables are challenging, then effective communication is going to go a long way with building trust with the client.
Yeah, very, very much so. And, of course, worked with all of you for the past year and a half, and worked with many other teams here at RQM Plus as well. And I see the same theme across all these different teams, making sure that you come in, you're focused technically, but you also have the soft skills with communication, with empathy, understanding where they're coming from, being flexible, being adaptable, and being courageous. And certainly all of you embody all of those characteristics.
Thank you, Scott.
Okay, so let's move on to a little bit different question. And this is more of a hypothetical, so looking for your input on this. If you could pick a perfect project for you, what would it be, and what would you like to do with it? Makenzie, how about you start us off?
Okay, thanks for the question, Scott. My answer is a little bit more general to this one. I find that I'm happiest whenever I'm working on solving a big problem. So whatever little steps I need to take to do that, I love working through corrective actions, especially related to remediation, or even coming in and doing process improvements to prevent having to do remediation in the future. As long as I am working on something where I can think analytically and help a client solve one of their problems and make them happy, I think that's the perfect project for me.
Excellent. Excellent. Thanks, Makenzie. Who wants to go next?
I can go next if it's okay. I sort of am passionate about the new trend toward material characterization. So mine is a little more specific, but there are a lot of animal testing and everything else. They draw a lot of inference. I don't know that they are the best way to prove that a device is safe for human use. And the new trend with the FDA permitting more characterization is objective evidence for biocompatibility, and also EU MDR having that characterization as well. I think that probably a project I would be very passionate about and I would be really enthusiastic to support would also be getting a project up to compliance per 10993-1 and these new standards, and really utilizing characterization fully. I would like to do something like that, either remediation, new design. So it's maybe a little specific. That's not the only thing I would like to do, but if I had to pick one that I almost designed myself, I think that's what it would be like.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Yeah, and definitely takes advantage of your biocompatibility and materials background. Awesome. All right, Joe or Craig, who wants to go next?
Yeah, I'll take the stand here. For me, it's a little bit more general. Again, similar to Makenzie, having a background in R&D, manufacturing, service and repair operations. I want to be able to provide guidance and results across entire organizations. I think the thing that drives me the most is bettering an organization, not only for the product, for the trends leading to the future, and of course the patients that are using the products.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, Greg. I mean, our clients are in the business to design, manufacture, and service products that improve people's lives, and we have a direct impact on that because we can come in and help support our clients by bringing that knowledge and bringing that ability to help solve problems. Maybe maybe they're too close to the problem and they can't see it. So bringing in an outside consultant can be a tremendous help and can actually save a lot of money and a lot of time because you're able to come in and bring a fresh set of eyes on the problem and be able to figure out, okay, what's the next strategy to deal with this and be able to solve it. So that's great. All right, Joe, over to you. What would be your ideal project?
Yeah, so a couple of things about me is that I always like learning new things, and I like when those new things sort of challenge me. So I think a good fit for me would be a new product development project where, let's say, the client is maybe looking to design, manufacture, and market some sort of next-gen medical device for the management of or treatment for diabetes, which is personal to me. And so I would want to be involved in basically all phases of that, everything from like determining the feasibility through to D&D, B&B, and then post-market, because I know what these devices mean to me, and so I can only imagine what it would mean to countless other diabetics around the country.
Yeah, that's great, Joe. And to put the personal spin on, it's not just you're not just working on a product. It's something that's personal, that means something to you or a family member. And that changes one's perspective on the work that you're doing, for sure.
Certainly does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. All great answers. Thanks, everyone. One last question. So, and kind of ties into a little bit what we just talked about, but as I mentioned, our clients design, manufacture, and service products that improves people's lives. What inspires you when you step into a new project? What do you want to achieve personally? How about Elaine? Let's start with you.
Thank you. Yeah, their desire to improve inspires me. When I see that in the client and I see they want to do better, they've sought that fresh perspective as you discussed, and they're trying. They want to try. That inspires me to want to help them. And so as my personal goal, I like to sit down with them, really listen to what their goals are, what they want to achieve, where they want to be, and try and help set something up so they're going to succeed. And I want them to, I'm very results oriented, so I want them to achieve those goals. I want them to be attainable, and I want to achieve those for them. So that inspires them to do more with us, to go to the next step, to try and get better and better, and trying to keep things in state of the art. It is a constantly adaptive state. You always have to wait for that next thing, look for that next standard or regulation revision, and be ready to adapt. And I really love it when I see that they're so open to such a culture of improvement, and we can contribute to that.
That's fantastic. I love that. Love that. Other thoughts?
I think, at least for me, learning about the industry leading equipment and like taking part in new technologies it's a real driving factor. Right alongside, providing the client the success that they want, but also being able to provide the guidance that maybe they didn't know that they needed. And the ability to work alongside some of the folks in this industry, it's been inspiring to myself because it tests me and it helps me grow as an individual, personally and professionally.
Yeah. It is pretty impressive to come in, being pulled in as a consultant on a project. And you've got people who have been working on these devices for, years and just to see their collective knowledge that they have product specific, and then you can add to that, your regulatory and compliance knowledge to really help them dial in that product to really be not only compliant, but safe and effective and world class.
Exactly. Yeah. Their triumphs are our success. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I can add to that. I love both of your answers. Those were fantastic, and I agree with both of those. I'm going to go a little bit cheesy here for a minute because that's who I am. So I don't know, just like since I was little, I've always had so much love for humans and really any living being, animals, things like that. I used to ask my parents to go volunteer on the weekends in high school. Like that's what I wanted to do instead of, going to the mall or going to the movies or whatever. So for me, knowing that, like one quality issue that I could catch someday could make somebody's life better, or even change their life or save their life from a patient perspective. That's what keeps me going every day. I really just kind of wake up and get into the mindset, even if it's going to be a hard day at work, at the end of the day, we might save somebody's life. So that's
right. Yeah. And Makenzie, after all, that's what it's all about, right? Improving people's lives. And the work that this team does and all of our consultants really has a direct impact on not only our clients' business, but on the products, on the services, on the documentation that they have that supports those products that lead to improving people's lives. That's great. Joe, any final thoughts on that?
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you guys any further. I would just have to say that the thing that inspires me the most is knowing that the individuals on my team, they all share the same sense of purpose and commitment to more sustainable solutions and safer and more effective products.
That's great. Well, I really appreciate everyone's time here today. Elaine, Craig, Joe, and Makenzie, thank you so much for taking the time out to speak with me and to speak with our audience, to let them know a little bit about who you are and what your makeup is and how you really want to drive the great things in this industry that our consulting agency gets involved with on a day-to-day basis. So thank you so much, and we really hope that those of you who are out there in the audience that are listening can identify with what we've been talking about today, and would really like to. We hope that you'd like to work with these individuals. We'd love to for you to contact us. We not only have these individuals, but we've got several more team members that we'll be highlighting as we continue on. But we have, this is just a small sampling of the amazing talent and the amazing work ethic and focus that we have at RQM Plus. So thank you very much for tuning in today. Thank you very much for your time. And again, everybody participating today, thank you so much.
Thanks for having us, Scott.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.